Pete, this is awesome.
Oh, Clark, hey. Good to see you among the living, man. Check it out. It's the latest talent mix.
Thanks, Pete.
Good to see you all among the living. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Talon Mix. It is a Smallville recap podcast, season 6. We're making it happen. I'm Brian. Zach's here. I'm all in on the I'm all in. I'm all in on we're making it happen.
I mean, so far, I don't want to get ahead of ourselves, but I think our no stinker streak might be at 3.
It's possible. It's possible. Also, not to spoiler, there is a moment in this episode where I won't get too into the details here, but Zach and I had a full on all caps text message conversation. Like it was an all caps emergency.
This is a moment that I have been anticipating since very early on in our podcasting. Before we were even posting episodes, I have been eyeing this moment in the future. I knew it was on the horizon. I didn't know exactly when, but I have vivid memories, which I will get into.
It knocked me to the floor. I had to rewind, and it knocked me out of a little trance I was in. And I had to, when I was like, this just happened, and you were like, oh, I wonder if it was the moment I'm thinking of. Like, if this isn't the moment you were thinking of, if this isn't it, if this one slipped by you.
Does someone get shot on camera in real life?
Oh, so without further ado, this week we watched Reunion. It's the 5th episode in the 6th season of Smallville and the 115th episode overall. It aired October 26th, 2006. I know all that, of course, because I'm reading directly from the Smallville wiki, smallville.fandom.com.
Smallville fandom. Sorry, I'm just adding.
That's good news on the recap this week, Zach. We have a lot of flashbacks in this episode, so we're back to our classic green text. Color-coded, just so we really don't get confused. Yes. It's the images, the picture in this episode is also color-coded. I don't know if we need that, right? They add a light sepia filter over the flashback scenes. I'm not an idiot.
No, but that's part of the. I mean, I feel like they always do that shit.
I mean, I get. I mean, yeah. I mean, it's at least they're consistent. But now that I'm thinking about it, I don't think I like it. Okay, so on October 26th, 1996, Duncan Allenmeyer and Lex Luthor are in their early teens. Young Lex Luthor here. I doubt he would ring a bell for you. I do believe he actually shows up again in this show as someone else. But this is Lucas Grabeel. I assume you do not have the same affection for the High School Musical trilogy of films that I do.
I've never seen them.
He is. I've only seen them very high. I'll say that. And Lucas Grabeel is a... How do I phrase this correct? This character that he plays in High School Musical is coded exceptionally gay. You are supposed to read that this character is gay, and I believe Lucas Grabeel is. He is not canonically in, they make sure when they pair up everybody at the end, he is paired up with a girl. And it's... Because Disney, I think?
Yeah. And we're still in the aughts, right?
Yes.
We're still late aughts.
Yeah. It's very funny. By the time the third one, we had watched them all in a day. We were supremely stoned. And just the end of that movie, and they pair him up, and it's just like, boo!
Throwing shit at the TV.
Yeah. So young Lex Luthor and Duncan are attending Excelsior Academy. I don't think you can call something Excelsior Academy because that just brings me to X-Men. I know that's not the X-Men name, but that's all I'm thinking of. anytime they talk about it. They are minding their own business when Oliver Queen and his buddies Alden and Jeffrey appear. They push Lex down and tease him about being bald and rip Duncan's comic book in half. There's we get a Warrior Angel, our first Warrior Angel appearance in a long time.
Yep.
I think there's a line here of like, why are Warrior Angel and whatever the bad guy, why are they fighting? They're best friends. It doesn't make sense.
Nietzsche moment.
Duncan is financially poor. Oliver, the leader, ripped the comic book which Duncan had saved for. Now, I'm not. It's 1996. I'm not. And far be it from me to be commenting on anyone else's financial situation. A comic book's like what, $3.50 in 1996?
Right. What are you saving? I guess you're saving pennies. You're saving quarters.
I guess so. They come out monthly. Like, how much are you like?
I thought the casting here was pretty good for the younger Oliver and the younger Lex. Yeah,
I agree.
Pretty solid.
And this is a fun. Sometimes these flashback storylines can be hit or miss. I thought this one was fun and interesting and enlightening.
It was a hit, man. It actually was effective.
Yes.
It hurt. It hurt a little bit.
Yes, agreed.
These are feelings we've all felt in our high school or younger, whatever. Some point in our lives, we felt like this.
Right.
We'll get into it when we get into the specifics of the story, but yeah, it was good. This is a legitimately good episode.
Yeah, it just to articulate the real chip on the shoulder that Lex has, I think is really interesting. So in the present, Lex attends Excelsior's alumni social with Lana. Lois and Oliver are there too with his childhood friends because we have to have a party scene in season 6 so that we can get characters in the same space.
Wait, we should get a streak of party scenes too. We're at 3.
We're 3 for 3.
We're at 3 in a row party scenes, 3 in a row decent episodes. Wait.
Yeah.
Is that why they're good episodes?
Is this the new John Glover? Is a party scene the new John Glover?
Not to get ahead of ourselves, but the Red Kryptonite episode, party scene. Red Kryptonite Clark shows up to a party, baby.
Yes.
Shows up to a party.
Yes. Yes. Oh, I'm so excited. Okay, so Lois and Oliver are there too with his childhood friends. Alden smugly mentions that everyone is present except for Duncan, and Oliver remorsefully tells him to drop it. Gotta say, when we hear that we don't know the full story, that is so fucked up. That is such a fucked up thing to say.
Yeah, I mean, they do have Oliver being like, you drank too much, asshole. Give me that fucking beer.
Right, right.
But even so, that is just an absolutely macabre comment to make.
Yeah, I think less of you for the rest of the fucking day, bare minimum. For what the fuck is the matter with you, actually?
Yes. Oh, no. Yeah. No, I mean, I've had moments where I've heard friends say things that made me go, oh, you're not who I thought you were, saying that shit.
Yeah, man.
Right? That would be a moment like that. Or it'd be like, oh, no.
Yes. Oh. Are you an asshole? That's it. These are smug rich people,
well,
they are.
Right, yeah. I knew you're an asshole, but damn. Let it all hang out like that.
So Oliver remorsefully tells him to drop it. Alden is standing on the steps when a large chunk of concrete falls off the building and just misses him. He muses on his luck when the statue's sword suddenly falls off and impales, killing him. I was so excited. I thought there was going to be more of this episode. It was a full oh!
Oh, I mean, they do give you the split-second shot of the blood splattering on Lex's face. It was good. It was good.
It's one of those is this gonna be one of these episodes? It's not. It's a very talky episode.
No.
But...
I think they probably have the guy make that terrible comment because they know the bloodshot is coming, and like
Right.
that shot's not as fun if he doesn't say something terrible right before he gets killed.
Yes. It's a real Friday the 13th moment. Like
Right, yeah.
At the Luther mansion, Lionel tries to comfort Lex because he knows he had a hard time at school, but Lex is unresponsive to his concern. When he leaves, Lex remembers a conversation he had with Duncan back in boarding school. We've switched to green text, everybody. The two plan to do benevolent work for the poor together and promise to be partners. Just then, they see Oliver and his buddies exiting an instructor's room and realize they caught them stealing test answers. Sorry, go ahead.
This is just about the green text.
Yeah.
This will date when we recorded this a little bit, but I just today saw the movie Challengers.
Yeah.
I would love for the Smallville wiki writer to recap that movie and color code it. Color code the timing.
Right.
You'd have to use like 4 different colors, I think.
So.
Fantastic movie, by the way.
Great movie.
Fantastic.
Really, really enjoyed it. Right, because there's the whole thing takes place effectively during a tennis match, and then like
but then just ping pongs
and then it
around.
nesting dolls from there. Good movie, really good movie. Everything is sex except for sex, which is tennis.
Yes, of course. Mm-hmm.
The dumb joke I made. I was like, I don't think that movie was about tennis. It's the okay. So Lex and Duncan catch Oliver and his buddy stealing test answers. I do like the moment preceding it. It's a little clunky, but I do like this idea that Lex, granted despite his father a little bit, not totally altruistically, but is willing to separate off from his father and do argued charitable good work. But it is noted that he wants to do it despite his father.
Right. I think that's part of it. But I also would say the first season or 2 of the show, Lex is genuinely trying to do good things.
Yes.
I think a big part of the reason he's trying to do good things is because he wants people to like him.
Yes.
Right?
Yes. And I think there's a bit of Lex's true nature though that is revealed over this flashback. I think Lex has it's people liking him and then another intrinsic motivation that we'll see soon.
Right.
Okay, so back in the present, Chloe is having dinner at the Kent farm. She tells them she's been investigating craters similar to the one Clark made when he escaped the Phantom Zone. She talks about a village in India that was attacked by a strange creature and thinks other criminals have escaped. Clark feels responsible and asks Chloe to find out for sure. He tells her that the fortress is dead and he can't ask Jor-El for help. She asks him to ask Oliver Queen for access to his satellite images. This is just moving some pieces around for some moving the football forward.
We're setting up next week.
Right. Okay. So Oliver and Jeffrey talk about how they regret falling out of touch with Alden before he died. Just as they part ways, Jeffrey's car explodes with him inside as Oliver and Lois look on in horror. Is the moment before this when we get our first on-screen mention of Gotham City?
Yes, I was going to say the wiki buried the lead there.
Yeah,
the guy
right.
says, I better get going. I got to get home to Gotham. And then you and I simultaneously from our separate apartments shot our wads.
Just turned my apartment into a fucking Jackson Pollock.
Nerds throughout the world at the same time went,
he said the thing! That's where Batman lives!
Yeah. Do you think there was one sad nerd who was like, I wonder if that guy's Bruce Wayne? And then he
someone
blew up
somewhere, yes.
in the car and crushed that guy's dreams.
Yeah. Unless it was fake. And then wouldn't be the first time.
Ian Somerhalder is
right.
He comes back. He was Bruce Wayne the whole time.
Right. Oh wow, that's a deep pull. That was a long time ago.
3 seasons ago, Brian.
Jesus Christ, we've been doing this a long time. Okay. Just as they part ways, Jeffrey's car explodes with him inside, and Oliver and Lois look on in horror. That's seeing everyone's holding up remarkably well, considering 2 people have just died, like, in front of them. That fucks you up, dude.
Oh yeah, no, that'll ruin your weekend. Just one death.
Just one will
You're
do
calling
it.
into work.
Yeah.
You know, you're calling into work for a while.
It is a full, like, yeah. I just saw somebody die. I'm not coming in today.
Right, unless you're like a first responder of some sort.
Right. Then you
know.
probably should have to get used to that kind of.
Right, yeah, or a doctor or whatever.
Right.
But,
Right.
yeah.
But yeah, I feel like two, that's 2 weeks, baby. 1 week per death. Terrible motivation to become a serial killer. There are other ways to get off from work. Do not. The Talon Mix does not endorse you getting into serial murder to get out of work. Just to nip that one in the bud.
Yeah, stop it.
Stop it. I'm
listener.
tired of getting accused on this
Stop
podcast of endorsing murder.
Way to get ahead of that one, Brian.
If anyone who listens to this podcast is a serial killer, stop it.
Stop.
Stop it.
Even if you didn't start because of us, you still need to stop right now.
Stop it right
sir.
now. Glad that's our good
And
deed
you know
for
what?
the day.
If anyone doesn't get killed by a serial killer tonight, you have me and Brian to thank.
You know
because we
what?
just stopped
yes.
it from happening.
Yes. That's our. I'm glad we're using this podcast to do some good. It's about time we give back.
Speaking of which, you want to hit that like button. Now's the
Actually,
perfect
yes.
time.
Now you're welcome that we stopped murders for the day. No murders today. So now you have to pull out your podcasting app of choice and indicate that you listen to this. Otherwise, oh man, I shudder at the thought. I would hate for murders to resume again.
Watch like there's a huge serial murder tonight, and I'm like,
God
fuck.
damn it.
Do we get
Fuck.
held responsible? Do we get held responsible now for that?
We can't. We're simply Smallville podcasters. Oh, God damn it. If you don't give us 5 stars right now, you love murder. You love murder.
Oh, shoot. Well, now it's suspicious if anyone doesn't.
Now, yeah. Look, you can't put this all on us. You fucking love murder if you don't rate and leave a review. You love murder if you don't leave a review right now. Clark goes to visit Oliver. He shows Clark his newest arrow, which can generate a pulse that shorts out electrical devices. Clark asks him for access, and he agrees if Clark helps him find out how Lex killed Alden and Jeffrey.
I love this. I got this new arrow. I wonder if this will come in handy anytime soon.
Yeah.
This specific function of this arrow I just invented. I wonder if that'll be relevant this week.
Yeah. Anyway, I'm going to put this into a vault. We're not going to talk about it again. It is funny just from a writing perspective of you can't have the green arrow just be like, oh yeah, I can shoot an arrow and boom, it makes the problem go away. But that's so you have to add in a clunky little scene where he's like, I invented this.
And that makes it okay. That's the amazing thing about it. It's like, and it does.
And it does.
Like,
It works.
If you set it up.
Chekhov was right.
Chekhov, he knew something.
He knew something. Okay. Clark asks him for access. He agrees. Okay, we flash back to 1996. Green text, just so no one gets confused. Where Duncan and Lex are arguing over what to do with their newfound knowledge. Duncan wants to turn Oliver in, but Lex believes they can blackmail Oliver into being their friend. Duncan realizes that Lex has already decided what to do. He gets upset, and Oliver and the others encourage Lex to beat Duncan up. So I think this is what I was talking about of the interesting thing. The fundamental piece of Lex is that he is trying to power climb at all times. He does have this innate lust for social and power climbing of we can use this and we can leverage this and we can get our social standing up. Whereas Duncan is like, I don't care about that.
Right. And I would put he wants people to like him as a part of that mix. It's a part of that brew.
Absolutely.
Right. He wants
No,
he wants love and affection that his father's not giving him.
Right. And I think that's
right. And he mistakenly sees, like climbing up in society as love, which is not.
You can't blackmail people into liking you. That's not how it works.
Right. Well, that's pretty much what Duncan says, right? Yeah.
Right.
You can't. Yeah. People either are your friends or they aren't. It's not.
So in the middle of the fight, Lex wakes up from the memory. Lana is concerned, but again, Lex doesn't want to talk about it. He gets up for a drink, and the decanter rolls off the table and strangely stops in the middle of the room. He goes to pick it up, and his chandelier comes crashing down. They jump out of the way, and Lana hits her head on the floor. Is that concussion? Is that her first of the season?
Concussion.
I don't think we've had one.
That is.
Yeah,
the
there
first.
we go.
Yep.
There we go.
Okay, let me get it.
Okay. I am.
We're way behind the pace of last season's concussions. Last season was.
Yeah, what was last season's total?
Last season, let's see. 5, 10, 20, 33 concussions last season.
That's so bad, dude. That's real bad.
The next most was 25. So yeah.
I mean, totally. Clark doesn't have superpowers. Everyone's just crazy due to the bruises on their brains.
But we left off with, let's see, 16 concussions for Lex.
Wow.
I think he's one away from Knoxville, right? Wasn't Knoxville 17 or was it?
Yeah. What are we going to do when we hit that number?
Watch he doesn't get another concussion for the rest of the show.
Right. Okay, Clark shows up at the hospital to see Lana, but Lex doesn't allow him. They argue about who is more dangerous to Lana, and Lex shuts the door in his face. There is a bit where, Clark is like, Lana's in the hospital because of you! And Lex is just like, bullshit, fuck you.
Yes. And even Clark, seconds later to Lois, is like, he's not wrong.
Yeah.
He says that line. He's like, he's not wrong. I mean, she lived in the hospital when she was your friend.
Smallville Medical and all of their incompetence just had a room set aside for Lana. Just throw her in a room.
There's one thing in common with these people who have spent a lot of time at the hospital. They all are either family with or really know you very well, Clark.
Yep. Imagine being in the hospital that many times without like a recurring terminal illness. Imagine being in the hospital that many times in 6 years.
If Smallville Medical wasn't so incompetent, someone would start to connect the dots a little bit.
Right.
If I was Lex and Clark said that shit to me, I wouldn't even get upset. I would laugh in his face.
Yeah, right.
Would laugh at him. Get the fuck out of here with that, you psycho.
Fuck you.
Also, Lex is like, it's just a concussion. I've had 16 of those. She'll be fine. Look at me. I'm doing great.
I've had 16. I'm doing great. Flieber fluber flubin. So, Lois arrives, and Clark admits that he's hurt Lana more than anyone. She tells him to quit feeling guilty and announces that Lana probably wasn't the target. She reveals that 2 of Oliver's schoolmates have died as well, and it probably has to do with a kid named Duncan, but Oliver won't tell her anything. Clark asks her to be careful, but she intends to solve the story. At Oliver's tower, Oliver reveals that Duncan has been dead for 10 years. There's a bit here where I think they're trying to find who this Duncan character is, and Oliver leads with, I found him. And Clark is like, oh, in the cemetery. Oh, great. Thank you. Thanks, Oliver. That's great. Cool and great. Sounds like you're just being a dick. Cool. Okay.
Yeah, right.
All right, I'm gonna go home then, I guess.
How can I phrase this to be the biggest dick?
Yeah. To be clear, for Clark, this affects him in no way. Clark is not
Right.
affected by this. It's some vague, like, Lana. He's, like, kind of roped into this because Lana got hurt. But to be clear, Clark, exit.
Right. Well, Oliver's like, I'll give you the Chloe.
That's right.
Chloe needs those.
That's right.
Readouts. I'll give you those if you help me figure out what Lex is up to. And
That's right.
It's a convoluted writer thing. Like, we need Clark to care about this. So.
I didn't notice it at the time, but now.
Yeah.
Okay. The flashback continues with green text. Lex beating Duncan up. They wind up having to pull Lex off, and Duncan flees. There's So Duncan gets up, and his face is, all kind of bloody, and they're all like, wow, Lex, you're really, like, fucked up. You're a fucked up guy. And like, yeah.
Psycho.
Yeah, he's a little bloodied up. He's a little split open. But not like for a bunch of guys who like beat that guy up. Like, oh fuck,
Right.
he's kind of beat up.
Yeah. These bullies
Yeah.
are shocked at the sight of blood.
Okay, so Duncan stumbles into the street and then gets hit by a car.
It's kind of his fault. He just kind of stands out in the middle of the street. It's either his fault or the driver's. It's hard to tell.
He turns out he turns out to say something to
Lex's
Lex.
fault.
No,
Yeah,
but had it not been for,
Oh no, I would feel terrible guilt if I was Lex, but it's not really his fault.
Right. There are stop texting and driving. Yeah, where's the guy who fucking hit him?
Right. I mean, he could have just as easily been in a conversation about comics and walked out into the street and get,
Right. Okay, so Oliver finishes the story in the present, saying Lionel Luthor swept in, tried to cover up what happened, and kept everybody quiet. There's a bit where Oliver says, like, I thought it was out of generosity, but it turns out he was just trying to cover. Yeah, Rich Dad was just trying to make it go away. Yeah, Oliver. You live in rich people world. You're just putting that together?
Right. Just by the way, wouldn't have been great for Oliver either.
Right.
Was, the truth comes out. They're all looking terrible.
Yeah. Bad for all of you.
Yeah.
Oliver admits that he still feels guilty. Good. Clark decides to ask Lionel what happened. Lionel, who is studying handwritten Kryptonian symbols, says Duncan had no...
Clark's just like, didn't notice at all. He had this big old tome. This old tome open. Clark's just too focused on this mystery.
Says Duncan had no family except for his mother. He eventually admits Duncan survived and had been in a permanent vegetative state for 10 years. His mother kept silent because Lionel has been using the best research scientists in the world to try and revive him. It is revealed that Duncan is receiving a glowing green injection made from meteor rocks.
No.
Oh no! When I saw the green stuff, I was like, oh, we're back, baby. We're having a good time now. It's been a little while since we've seen some meteor freak action. I kind of wish it was something more fun, like a ghost, rather than a catatonic. But like, this is a cheap.
I'm trying to remember.
This episode's cheap.
I don't know. Do we ever do full-on Ghost? Oh, that really bad Chloe episode.
That really bad Chloe episode. That's one for the books on a bad one.
There's still kryptonite involved, but it's basically a ghost. Right?
Yeah. Oh, here's a question. Duncan gets hit by a car. That's not a car destruction. That's not a car stunt. I mean, it is a car stunt, but like that car.
We don't see the car afterwards, so it's hard to. I would say it's inconclusive.
It's out of. It's a DQ.
Yeah,
it's disqualified. Yeah.
I mean, he's not driving that car if it killed someone. Not for a while.
Right. But still, it's DQ'd.
it's not. Yeah.
Even if it is destroyed canonically, it doesn't count for our purposes.
No.
Okay. So Duncan is receiving a glowing green injection made from meteor rocks. Clark goes to the research clinic and runs into Lois. They find Duncan's room and notice that his EEG shows brain patterns. Clark surmises that the treatment is working and that it coincides with the attacks. Lois explains about astral projection, but as she turns her back, Clark super speeds out of the room. No thoughts. This episode, like, we're really speeding through this. There isn't that much to say about. It's good to fine episode.
We're gonna have a lot to say at the end of the episode, near the end.
I would say
episode.
next paragraph we have a moment of significance. The real meat of what I would like to talk about today.
I've been saving up. Yeah. I'm just waiting.
We have 3 paragraphs left. This next one is an important one. Okay. Lex goes to Oliver's tower to confront him, and they argue. Oliver accuses Lex of running from his mistakes, and Lex traitorously punches him.
It's not traitorous.
Wiki.
That's the wrong word.
Yeah,
that's the wrong word.
It's wrong. It's okay.
He's not a traitor. He was never on Oliver's side.
Right.
I don't know. That's not.
I mean, like, it does. Do they mean in reference to like a sucker punch? But like even that doesn't even seem quite right here.
No.
It just gets heated.
No. Yeah.
Okay, so then Lex gets harshly beaten up by Oliver. Suddenly, the window shatters and Oliver pushes Lex out of the way. He stands up.
Yeah, when Oliver throws him across the room, there's a whooshing sound like he's Clark. Like, I'm like, he doesn't have super
No,
strength.
he's just good with a bow.
Whoosh, 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 whoosh.
He stands up to see one of his arrows flying towards him. It hits him in the shoulder and pins him to the wall. Just as one of his electrical arrows flies towards him, Clark speeds in front of it. The pulse travels. Duncan's brainwaves short out and he goes limp. When Clark goes back to the clinic, Duncan has died and Lois has decided not to write her story. Oh, we're missing an important beat here.
Oh, Wiki
didn't know what to do here. And, so they
Wiki
bailed.
Says, I do not have the capacity to deal with this.
And we probably don't either, but here we go.
No, we have to. We have to try.
We have to try. So we haven't had a yikes of the week in a long time.
Not like this.
Not like this. This is, I think, comparable to the pilot, right?
Yes, this is I think when the pilot happened, no one knows except for you and me because those episodes are locked in the Disney vault. When that happened in the pilot, I think I said there's only one other one I can think of that competes with this. It might be worse. I can't wait for you to see it. This is what I was talking about. We've been waiting for this, Brian.
So I'm just gonna play this scene, I think, and listeners at home, just see for yourselves if anything weird comes up in this scene. I don't know. Maybe you'll miss it. Maybe you won't think it's a big deal. That's not true.
Hey, what happened?
You went AWOL while things heated up as usual.
I went to go find a phone to warn Oliver and Lex.
Did you get a hold of them? Are they all right?
A little worse for wear. Oliver said whatever happened just suddenly stopped.
Well, Duncan went flatline, like he blew a fuse or something. I wonder what caused it.
You need that for your article?
Well, it would be good if I were still going to write one.
But you're not?
It would make a juicy story for the Inquisitor, but considering the outcome, an exploitation piece on a catatonic patient astral projecting his way to revenge might be in bad taste.
Would you still feel the same way if Oliver wasn't involved?
We've all done things we're not proud of. I just wish that Oliver didn't feel like he had to hide it from me.
You know, sometimes in order to protect the people we love, we keep secrets.
That is totally retarded.
I had to rewind to like.
Oh no!
Did you pick up on anything? It's bad. That's
Brian. A lot of things happen in this show, and you and I are like yeah, it's bad, but that's just kind of what was happening on TV at the time or whatever. Or it was still okay. I remember watching this, age 20
Yeah.
in the year 2006. I remember watching it when it was airing for the first time and going, what? You can't say that on TV. You can't say that anymore. That's not okay. I can't believe they put that in there. Why did they put that in there? And then
Yeah, right.
I remember reading Television Without Pity. They used to do reviews.
Yeah.
And even that person called it out like, what?
What?
What are you doing?
I was trying to like reverse engineer because like I would think by 2006, by the time we're in Vancouver, that word is out of my vocabulary, you know?
Yes, me too. Me too.
That was mostly a 90s word, right? That kind of
Yes.
into the 2000s. Then it was kind of like, hey, that sucks. That energy sucks.
Yeah. Yes.
But I was trying to find like kind of, you know, guys like us maybe a little ahead of the curve on some of that stuff, like pick up on some of that stuff maybe a little faster than other people before other people are kind of ready for it. We're real visionary, pioneering white men, Zach, is what I'm saying here.
Well, we're located on the coast,
Right.
That stuff hits there earlier.
Right. So I was trying to find evidence and usage of that word on TV. And like, where are we? In 2006, an episode of The Office airs called Gay Witch Hunt. This is 2006, and we get...
Same year. Yeah.
What's that? Yes. And
Same
we
year,
get the following scene. Sorry, I know we...
I know the scene you're going to play.
Yeah. But I have the same point. I'm going to play the scene first for
great.
context
Go
here,
ahead.
if that's
Go
cool.
ahead.
You don't call retarded people retards. It's bad taste. You call your friends retards when they're acting retarded.
So we get that on TV. And but like we have, that is of course Michael Scott from The Office. And the whole point of the character of Michael Scott is that he is kind of cringy and well-meaning. Oh wait, usually well-meaning. But
yes,
behind the curve,
oblivious
and
cringy, just cringe, total cringe comedy.
The joke of that joke, for lack of a better word, is that what the fuck is the matter with you, dude? You're digging your hole deeper.
The comedy doesn't come from him saying the R word. It comes from the fact that he's so stupid that he doesn't understand the folly of what he's doing, right?
Right.
He doesn't get it.
Right. A year after that, almost an entire calendar year in 2007, It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia does an episode called Sweet D Dates a Retarded Person. And the gimmick here is the premise of this episode is that D is dating a guy, and the other like cast are like, he might be mentally retarded, for lack of a better word here, just using the words they're using on the television show.
Sure. Yeah.
And so a calendar year later, the purposely most reprehensible people on television, the people on television you're supposed to be like, oh, they all suck.
Yes.
It's so, what the fuck happened here?
Yeah, I wonder. I'm thinking they thought. I'm sure the writers aren't throwing that word around. I don't think they are.
I think there was a discussion here, right? About whether it was
there must have been, and I think what they landed on, which is wrong, is that Lois is kind of the kind of person who would still maybe use the word at that time.
Yeah. Or
right, her character is kind of crass.
Right. And I think there's supposed to be a punch of shock value here. I think you're supposed to be a little it's meant because it follows Clark having an earnest moment, right? And then Lois says something shockingly dismissive of what he said.
She says that's so, and like she says the first part in a way that's like, that's so meaningful, insightful, and then she drops the bad word. And that moment works really well if
Right.
you use almost any other word there. Like if you use that's so ridiculous or whatever,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
like that.
Or like that sucks. Or like there's
right.
places you could go. That 2006, man, we were dude. Yeah.
I mean, this is probably airing around the same time that Office episode aired.
Yeah, like I said, same year. Yeah.
It's not, I know, but I think it's probably like the same.
Oh, sure, because
month
that
or
was the
couple
season
weeks.
premiere.
So it's not like they saw that and were like, "Hey, we can use the word."
No. I mean, it probably. Let me see the air date here. September 21st, 2006. So that's a couple of weeks before. And that means like we got Michael Scott behind the times.
Right, yeah.
Doof.
Behind the times buffoon, yeah.
And a month later, a straight up month later, Lois Lane just using it on Smallville.
Yeah.
Guys!
Yeah. She's using it in the way Michael Scott says is okay.
Right.
Which is the whole joke.
Right.
The whole joke
Right.
is that he thinks that's okay.
Right. That is his justification for his terrible behavior in the episode, a frequent source of comedy in The Office.
Yes.
Look at this
Right.
asshole.
And then the Smallville writers are like, yeah, we should have Lois say that. And yes, Lois is a little crass and kind of doofy, and that's what I love about her. But that's no good.
That's
It's
no good.
good.
That's no
It was no
good.
good at the time. It was no good at the time. It's no good now.
Yeah.
This isn't some woke thing. This isn't some Brian and Zach up here with our 2024 glasses on. This was bad at the time.
Yep.
This was a big swing and a miss, a whiff.
Yep.
The ball flew back up and hit them in the face and split their own nose.
Just a full, you should not have done that. What's the you can't do that. So here's the second part of, I think, the conversation that we need to have. How will Talkville address this in a couple of years?
Oh my gosh.
If they even get to season 6, let's be real, that show's steam is running
I
out.
want to know. Do you think that show is going to go past when Michael Rosenbaum is done on the show of Smallville, or
I
is he
can't
tap
imagine.
out?
I can't imagine. I have
they're
sympathy
making
for
money.
Talkville. Sorry.
It's a source of income for him, right? I mean,
I bet less than they hoped for. That's my
Yes.
guess. I think they're disappointed with. I think they thought it was going to be more fun to revisit.
Yes, because they hate it.
Right.
That's why it's not as big, because
Right.
they hate it.
Right. I'm sure there was an element of it was an excuse to hang out,
Right.
which, that's a great reason to do a podcast. Da 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 da. But steam's going bad there. My guess would be, I'm calling it now, if they even get that far, my guess would be they're like, it was 2006. And I think they'll wipe it under that way.
Yes. I mean, they'll definitely address it. I think they'll say it was a different time.
Yeah. It was.
Or they might even, I could see one of them doing the Michael Scott explanation. Kind of
It's possible.
excusing
It is possible. Who would be more likely to do that, Michael or Tom? Michael or Michael? Michael.
Michael.
All right.
You know what? Sometimes they say stuff like that, and then the whoever the producer is a little bit younger than them, and it's
Yeah.
like, no, it's no good. He'll chime in and be like, it's bad.
All right. I think that is our official Talon Mix prediction. We are going to encase that in amber. And then I think
Is it time to call in with another question?
I
think,
don't know if I can have my heart broken again.
because they're in season 4 when Lex is really laying on the creepiness, and I want to call in and be like, "Are you still in denial, Rosenbaum?
Yeah.
Are you still in denial about this?"
That last one really, really broke my heart. I really kind of couldn't
telling
believe it.
myself that we were too late and that's why they didn't use it. That's what I've been telling myself.
I don't know, dude. What was even the question we asked again? Oh, right, we asked a big list.
The room.
There's the room.
What
The
do you do
room.
with the picture.
Oh, heartbreaking. My heart's broken. Just the glass shattered on that one, dude.
This is why we're so critical of the show, because it was rejection.
Yeah. And to be clear, I felt this way the whole time. I was just holding back. I
never liked them anyway.
Anyway, I'm going to keep talking about their TV show. All right. Lex finally tells Lana about what happened to Duncan. Oliver arrives, and Lex is still angry, but thanks him for saving him. Oliver admits he feels great regret over bullying Lex and Duncan, but Lex only says he regrets ever thinking he needed friends like Oliver. I like that moment. It's good.
Yeah, it was good. It was a really good scene, and like you see where they're both coming from. Like Oliver puts himself out there with an apology, and Lex is like, "Shove that up your ass," basically. But also, I get it.
Yeah.
I get it.
Yeah. I think it's a good scene. It's good.
Yep.
Okay. He then confronts Lionel and demands to see the data about Duncan's treatment. That's Lex. Oliver talks to Clark about making the wrong choices and living with the consequences. Chloe arrives with satellite images and finally meets Oliver. We get a little bit of like, oh, cute boy. Chloe's cute boy radar goes into absolute hyperdrive. I do know, and I only know this, I think, because I watched the finale when it aired. So I know Chloe and Oliver becomes a thing. Are they think they're setting that up there, or are we just like Chloe like the cute boy? Because we know Lois and Oliver can't be endgame. It can't be.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know if it was in the writer's room or whatever, but the way they play the scene is like the actors are setting it up. Like they're like flirty with each other.
Right. I mean, it may just be, it may not be even cemented. It may just be, open to it. Who knows? Like we've introduced a new cute boy into the picture. Like there's a lot of potential avenues.
Or they just have chemistry as actors.
Yeah. Also true.
Maybe she invited him to go to some seminars or whatever.
It's just like a self-help thing. It's about actualization.
Like it's confidence boosting.
Yeah. What do you do with the brand? What is that? A cattle brand? Oh, nothing. No. All right. Okay.
You're always talking about your brand. Are you like a logo or something that you're working on? Or they're really into their branding.
I mean, I guess that's smart.
About branding.
Getting it out there, I guess.
Do you think in the scene before, like, because we enter that scene, Oliver's already there and Clark's doing work, like with hay and stuff. Do you think before we got to the scene, Clark was like, "Listen, I know Lois is my friend, but she said some kind of fucked up shit earlier. You might need to hear about."
Man, I think you need to hear this.
She said, "I'm not comfortable with it. I'm uncomfortable. I've known her for a couple of years."
Did she not see that episode of The Office? There was an episode of The Office a couple of weeks ago.
It's like, oh yeah, I'd never miss it. Everyone's watching that show.
Do you know what's funny about The Office? I don't know if this was your experience. A lot of people that I knew took a while. It was around season 3 or 4 that The Office began to catch on for them. Yep. It was a weird, quiet show that was that kind of threw people off in a big time way. Do you think Clark was a quick to The Office or like a season 5 hop on? Though really 3-4 is when people hopped on.
He doesn't seem like he's watching too much TV at all. He's throwing baseballs in his barn. I feel like Clark would not appreciate the uncomfortable humor of The Office. He's one of those people who's like, oh, it's too awkward for me.
Yeah. Clark watched 24 with his dad. That would be my guess.
100,000%. Yeah. I mean, his dad watched 24, that's for sure. Do you think he keeps watching it now that his dad's gone? Like, just to keep up the...
It's not very good, but it's kind of past its prime by this point.
But you know what? The main character has a sidekick named Chloe, so there's a lot he could relate to.
There's a lot there. Fuck. Someday we should revisit 24.
What comedy show airing at the time does Clark enjoy? Something on CBS, right?
Yeah.
Raymond.
2006
It's Raymond. Everybody
sitcom.
loves
It
Raymond.
is Raymond.
King of Queens. It's that block. That's what he's watching.
Yeah. Do you think he's watching Heroes?
Oh, yes. For sure he's watching Heroes.
And then Friday Night Lights is on too.
Oh, yeah. He's all over that. Great show. Great
show. Great show. This could have been a
He's
Friday Night
all
Lights
over.
podcast too.
Probably should have been.
Probably should have been. Well, we'll have plenty of time for other shows when we finish this one someday. Okay. So when he exits, Chloe shows him some of the images she pulled. Clark recognizes a figure as Rhea. It is like we're kind of supposed to know who that is. And
Yeah, and I was like, who?
what?
Oh,
From that bad episode a while back? All right.
Yeah.
So that was that one.
Question.
What's that?
Does the colossal yikes bring it down to the point of it ends our streak? I don't think so.
I don't think no. It does not make this episode a stinker. If anything, it gave us something to talk about this episode. I think this is a down the middle. I'd give this a C+. Overall,
Yes.
it's got some fun bits. The guy getting stabbed through with the statue sword was really fun.
Yep. I thought the flashback stuff was actually pretty poignant.
Yeah, we fill out
Poignant,
Lex's character in an interesting way. We fill out Oliver a little bit in that relationship. No, I think this is a good episode with a wild bit. With a wild bit.
Any yikes from here on out are going to be shockers to me too.
We might not have another yikes if that's the one we have, because I think we've
no, yeah.
I think we've
we're
determined that yikes is like a belt, a boxing championship or a wrestling championship.
I would
It has
say
to be
this-
dethroned.
Yes, this has the belt now, right?
Yeah,
for sure.
for me, which might be a recency bias, but I think this one's
It is. It is.
But yeah. It's the one in the pilot, the boyfriend, oh, no, is both it makes sense that a Midwestern teen would be afraid of being perceived as gay. And in 2001.
It's the follow-up from Lana that is the real cringer, though. He has a sixth sense of humor.
Yes, I forgot about that. Right. Yeah, that's pretty bad. But no, I think this one's maybe worse. Just because we're fully in, you all know better. You know better.
It's later. This is the mid-aughts.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Okay, we have some featured music this episode. Reunion of Old Friends by Chris McGeary and Ease My Pain by Brian Way. Neither of those songs stuck out to me. Can't point them out in the episode. I don't think those are hit singles. It appears the wiki keeps track of, just like they keep track of which superpowers are used in the episode, they keep track of Oliver's trick arrows moving forward. Hello.
Right.
Let's see here. I'm looking for notes, any fun facts. Here's something. As originally written, they have Duncan commit suicide. And it's all, which kind of makes sense. They did walk that back. I think they decided that was a little too dark for CW at 8 o'clock.
Probably, yeah, but makes more sense for all the stuff they're going for. But
right.
That's a little heavy for Smallville.
I don't know if Smallville can quite handle that one as delicately as it.
They already have. They have one miscarriage so far.
Yep.
And there might be another one on the horizon, Brian.
Oh boy. Oh,
maybe
boy.
this season.
Oh, great. Okay. We have a section here called Goofs. I have not noticed a Goofs section on the Smallville wiki. This is funny. Young Lex, the actor I was talking about previously, once again, his name is Lucas Grabeel. He has attached earlobes, whereas Michael Rosenbaum has, separated earlobes.
You know, that's not.
It's
goof.
not. It's
That's not a goof.
And actually, you're weird for noticing that.
Maybe they detached over time.
Yeah, that's it. Okay, when Clark is moving hay bales in the closing scene, there's a shot where the hay peels back and you can see like it's a cardboard box beneath.
Love it. If George Lucas in Smallville, that won't be there anymore. He would have gone back. And there would have been a dewback walking around the background also.
That's how you know Lucas wasn't like very good. Like his sensibility isn't very good in that he got the technology and was like, I'm just going to put a bunch of shit in the frame. Like
his mistake was like, I want to test out this technology before I make the prequels. Smart.
Right.
Let me use my beloved masterpieces as test dummies.
And then make the previous versions completely unavailable.
Right, yeah. That was the mistake.
Yeah, right.
Do like a short film or like a commercial, or if they made a Star Wars
or
short
fuck
film
up THX.
Right. He did. If they made a Star Wars short film in 1997, Lucas officially did, and put it in theaters, it would have made $200 million.
Yeah, right. Put it in front of
no
another
content.
movie, and like the other movie would have like
Totally. The trailer for Phantom Menace made Meet Joe Black a success.
Yes.
There was no Star Wars in 97 except for Star Wars. So he just could. But mistake. He's a genius. He made some really brilliant decisions, and then he stopped.
Sebastian Gacki, who portrays Alden, was also the pizza delivery boy in the episode Thirst. Is Thirst the vampire episode? Thirst is he's the guy who gets his dick bit off. Ladies and gentlemen, that man has no dick.
Is this canonically the same guy, or is it a twin? His twin fell on hard times.
Yeah.
Was like
lost his dick in a hot tub.
Yeah. Well, first he was kicked out of the family, so he had to start delivering pizzas.
Right. Or was making his own way.
You're right. He renounced his family.
Right.
He was like, I don't need your money.
And then he lost his dick.
I'll go make my own. And then he came crawling back, and it's like, I need a dick transplant.
Please, I need a new dick. Give me a new dick.
I don't think he lived, Brian. The amount of blood that was in that hot tub.
It's a lot of blood in his dick.
He's not.
I'm looking through here, sorry, for some other interesting bits. There don't seem to be. Once again, this is a pretty solid C+ episode. Zach, anything else before I get us out of here?
No.
Great. No. Thank you, everybody, for listening to the Talon Mix. Listen, we have, you can head to bit.ly/Brian Zach Pod. That's bit.ly Brian Zach Pod. You can find links there to our Discord, where, I don't know, you can fuck around and chat. We also have a Patreon. This show basically happens because we have a couple of very generous Patreon supporters. We are so grateful to them. We would like to get some bonus stuff up soon. Sorry, we've been really bad about it, but we're very, very grateful and appreciate all of your support. If you would like to help out this show, please, and if you hate murder, that's the important thing. If you hate murder,
you've had the whole episode to think about it. How do you if you liked it, that's fine.
That's fine. I mean, it's not fine, but it's not our business. Pull out your podcasting app, whatever you're listening to this on. Give us 5 stars on Spotify or Apple. If you really want to go above and beyond, leave a review saying you like the show. I mentioned most of our listeners come from Apple Podcasts, and it does help if they can look down and see somebody be like, hey, Brian and Zach are funny guys who make a good Smallville show. We 100,000,000% appreciate it. Also on YouTube, if you're listening to this on YouTube, leave a question that we can ask the Smallville gods.
Yes, because I have trouble coming up with them every week.
Hey, speaking of that, Zach, do you have a question for the Smallville gods?
No, I have a question specifically for the guy who yells "yeah" before he's about to get hit by a car at the end of the episode.
Yeah.
I want to know, does that guy think it's messed up what Lois said in this episode?
Good night, everybody.
That is totally